My name is Krista Corgatelli, and I am a nutritionist. I was referred to you by your primary care doctor, and I am to speak to you about your recent diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. And the goal behind this is to help walk you through some of the changes that you're going to be going through in your diet and lifestyle, and that might help you with some of the symptoms you're experiencing, such as the thirst and fatigue especially, and get you back to those activities you love. I hear you love walking, so let's get you back to that. So to do this, we need to work out the best diet and exercise plan for you and your lifestyle that meets your new body's new requirements. We're going to get this down, but it might take a couple of tries to balance your needs while helping you get your energy back and helping you lose some of that weight. I understand that you are a little bit on the obese side, but we can resolve that pretty quickly if you just work hard, and it'll be fun. We'll make sure it's fun. So I believe in success relying on open communications. So absolutely 100% talk to me. And if there's any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Any thoughts? Okay. Okay, as I understand it, you're not on any insulin or metformin yet. And the reason I'm asking this is because one of the goals of diet and exercise therapy is to help manage diabetes without medications. But your doctor and your medical team will be keeping an eye on your blood work. So if anything changes where we need to go on medications, we sure can, but we're going to avoid that if possible. According to your chart, your blood pressure is good. And I like that you like to cook and take walks, as we talked about just a second ago. These are both heart healthy habits. They're really going to help here in the future, and we can absolutely get you back to doing that. Some of the difficulties you have been experiencing is being tired. Has that made taking your walks difficult, or have you been keeping up with them? What about cooking? I also understand that you've had difficulty losing weight in the past. Is that correct? What kind of diet plans have you tried? Okay, so given your answers, I have a couple tools for you. One of them is called Counting Carbs for weight loss in people with diabetes. And it's going to help us manage our carbohydrates, which is going to help us lose weight first and foremost. And it's going to help us through those blood sugar swings. And reducing those blood sugar swings is going to help decrease that feeling of fatigue that you're feeling. And once we balance that with exercise, we're going to have the social life that you loved. So let's get on to the first, if you'll pull out the first educational handout called Counting Carbs. It's weight loss for people with diabetes. So to begin with, we're going to go through this little picture up here in the top hand corner. It's a picture of just general carbohydrates, and I wanted to know if you knew that most foods have some carbohydrates in them. And that picture, you notice tomatoes and that kind of stuff, and little fruits and berries, all those have carbs in them. I gave you a carbohydrate quick list, which is breads and pastas and rice and sweets, of course, and cereals. So you can look through that meal page on the first page. Some unusual foods are like fruits and fruit juices, sweet potato, corn, soy and milk. All of those are not necessarily at the top of people's list. Most people, when they think about carbohydrates, think about sugar, grains, and that kind of stuff. So the picture on your left now has foods that are healthy carbohydrates. Okay, so we're going to embrace the healthy cooking with these carbohydrates, and you can cook them anytime and serve them at any party. I would be happy, I'm sure any guest would be happy with getting some nice biscuits with their dinner, or a sweet potato for a side dish, or even having a little yogurt or custard for dessert. So fruits is also a great thing. So I think you will be able to easily be social and cook for your friends and family still. Okay, so the question is, when it comes to counting carbs, is you might have heard about grams or carbohydrates and servings of carbohydrates. So what does that really mean? Well, a serving of carbohydrate, they're just two different values for the same thing. A serving of carbohydrate is 15 grams of carbohydrates. So what does a serving size look like? So we want to look at our nutrition labels. They'll tell us the serving sizes, but in general, a one slice of bread, about 1 ounce, is 15 grams. About a half cup of cooked cereal is about 15 grams. All these will be about 15 grams. For instance, a half cup of fruit, around 17 small grapes, 1 cup of fat-free or reduced fat milk, about a 2-inch square cake unfrosted, and I assume a brownie, about a 2-inch square brownie. We got to be careful about our portion size, especially on dessert, but that's okay, we can work that out. So, and a cup of casserole type food is about 2 carbohydrate serving. So if we look at casseroles, spaghettis, that kind of stuff, we can, if we're being served at a friend's house dinner, we can say, okay, 1 cup of this is going to be roughly 2 carbohydrates. So we can account for that. And that's what counting carbs does, is we account for all the little things in our lives and make a plan. So we can make a plan that we can go ahead and stay healthy and make sure we're not getting those big glucose swings by not paying attention to where our carbs are at. And that's where that fatigue is coming from, like we mentioned earlier. Okay, so your kcal goal is 1,200 to 1,500 kcal per day. And this is going to be for weight loss. We've talked about weight loss, and weight loss, getting that weight off, is one of the biggest things that we can do to help reduce risk factors for like kidney disease and other heart diseases that are associated with diabetes. So we really want to get that down. So everything's going to be based on that calorie, which has been calculated out for your body weight. So your servings of carbs per meal is 3 servings, which means you get 45 grams per meal. Okay, you get 1 snack per day, and this is on the back page if you haven't already looked at that. At 15 carbs, or 1 serving. You can pick what time of day the snack is, but your snacks and your meals need to stay consistent. That's the one rule you got to have to maintain that glucose level at the right times. So especially that comes even more important if we go on insulin later or metformin. Okay, so look at the picture to your right. If you ate this meal, would you be exceeding your grams of carbs for breakfast? I'll give you a second to do the math. Okay, so when they're added together, they equal 46 carbs. So the answer is no. So I have asked you if you can create a meal, and you can do that later. So why do the eggs have no carbs? It's because there are some free foods that have a low enough level of carbs that they don't get counted, but they can add up, so be careful. Don't assume that everything is free. So I'm going to ask you to try and fill in lunch by yourself later and create a lunch. As a reminder, you get 45 grams per meal. And I've already filled in the values here under breakfast from that picture above, and to kind of give you an example of what you're thinking of doing. That's going to help keep you on track every day by giving you a plan to start with, okay? So tips for keeping it social, because you like to be social, and we like people to be social. That's good for everything, mentally, physically. We need to make sure you have a food tracker. So when you go out to eat and it's not something you prepared, you can punch it into, like, say, the chronometer on your screen or on your page, and from there you can actually keep track of everything you need to keep track of. And if you made a plan earlier, this will fit in with your plan. You can double check yourself, which is even better. Have fun, but never, ever, ever save up carbohydrates for your meal. This is going to cause those massive fluctuations, and ultimately it could be fatal. I'm sure we've all heard horror stories of that happening. So I have additional resources, tips and tricks for living with diabetes. Meal consistency. I can't emphasize this enough. Stay consistent. That'll help you maintain your energy level. That'll help you get outside. That'll help you lose weight, and that's going to help keep that blood sugar from spiking and potentially being very dangerous. Keep the sodium low. Around 1,500 milligrams is recommended for you, so we want to really, really make sure that that is the case, okay? And if you're cooking at home, which we recommend, well, at least there's no actual recommendation, but I personally like the Mediterranean diet, but you can use the DASH diet or whatever you want to. And don't be afraid of inviting guests. People will like this food. It's like fresh chicken, grilled vegetables. Nobody's going to say no to that. It's always going to be good, okay? And I'm sure you're a great cook. Weight, we're going to reduce the weight, and that's why we kept our calories low at 1,200 to 1,500 kcals per day, okay? I left my contact information on this particular page, and your PCP, you can fill that in. And I gave you a helpline for the American Diabetes Association because we all need help. And we're not ever going to do any of this alone. That's the great thing. You have a team behind you, and that's important to remember. Okay? And some references, of course. Okay, on to the exercise page. Okay, so working it out with your workout. You like to walk. This is a good thing. Okay, so you need aerobic exercise. It lowers your blood sugar by moving insulin into your sugar cells, which is essential, and it's going to increase your insulin sensitivity, which means you need less insulin to transport the sugar to your cells. We've got your doctor approved for exercise, but we're going to try walking every day for at least 30 minutes, okay? And if that doesn't work out, let's start with 3 days a week and start with 10 minutes. And then we're going to work up to that 30 minutes every day and try and get a walking group together. Get your friends back up, give them a call, and we will keep on working on that. So I hope this has been a great brief little introduction. As I said, my contact information is on the handouts, and you'll have 2 of them, and one will be 3 pages and one will be 1 page. And the exercise handout, I think you got that. I'll have some lists of exercises and what to do, how to do. And at your age, I really recommend starting to work on strength training as well. So if you have any questions, give me a call and we'll set up our next appointment at, say, let's start Tuesday next week, actually. Let's get back together, and because I really want to go through this carb counting again and make sure you have, this is going to be the follow-up to see if you did your homework and how well you did on it. So thanks for talking with me, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you and have a great day.